I'm a fall girl because I love pumpkin spice lattes and fall leaves. Chris is a fall girl because he loves football.
I think I'm the most positive person.
Am I supposed to weigh in on this?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I remember the moment my husband looked at me and was like, "Oh, you love to play dress up like a kid." And I'm like, "Now you're understanding." Do your thing.
Welcome back, folks, to another episode of That's How You Feel. Thank you for watching. I am one of your hosts. As always, I'm Caleb Anthony. I'm joined with my co-host, Levi McCall.
Oh, wait.
And today,
camera.
oh my goodness. And today we have a
Very special guest.
incredible special guest.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
Came all the way
from LA, Los Angeles, the city.
I think that's how you know we made it.
I was about to say the Big Apple. I was like, I'm so dumb. Never mind. Not the Big Apple.
Wait, what is LA? The city of what?
I thought I was going to say Concrete
Angels?
Jungle.
Is that what it's like?
City of Angels.
The City of
Okay.
Angels. She's from Los Angeles. Please welcome Miss Angelique.
So glad to be here.
Can you please add in the applause
She
thing?
does every time.
I don't be hearing it.
Yeah, maybe watch the episodes every once in a while.
It's not a bad idea.
Also, I'm Caleb's sister-in-law.
She is. Oh man, I'm so pumped. I've never been more nervous to have somebody
You
on this
may
show.
remember his brother Chris, who everyone had liked better than him.
Yep.
When he was on talking about mental health and wellness. This is his lovely wife, Angelique.
Yeah.
So,
When Chris comes around my spaces, I don't exist when he comes around.
wasn't it Kathy that said, was that your brother? He's so much better looking than you.
Yeah, that was she
When
didn't
at
say
church.
hello, Caleb. How are you? It was, hey, your brother was here. Yeah, he looks better than you. Thank you. I guess I don't know why you're telling me. That's
So
fine.
we normally introduce with 3 facts.
3 facts about Angelique.
But I feel like you need to go with this.
What do you mean?
Say the 3 facts.
Oh, other than her being my sister,
It's just
Angelique she's a very, very talented musician and producer. Angelique, she's a musician. She's a producer. She is my sister-in-law. And what's a fun thing about Angelique that I know? I'm drawing a blank on it. But there, no, don't do that. Don't
I'm
do
so
that
sorry.
to me.
The
Stop it.
The disrespect. Wow, man. I believe you like to snack at midnight.
Yes, tell him that I'm a midnight mouse. So I get hungry at night and I keep vampire hours.
Okay.
Basically, I'm a night owl, really intense night owl where I could sleep pretty late into the day and then stay up really late. And if I'm in the middle of a project, the latest I would stay up would be 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. That would be really late.
Oh, wow.
My average bedtime is about 3 a.m.
Yikes.
So around midnight or usually right before I go to sleep, I just get hungry again. And so I'll raid my fridge for little cheese and crackers or little snacks
Okay.
and stuff. So I call myself a midnight mouse. And so I
it.
said this to Caleb because Chris and I stay at his house when we come to stay in Kansas City.
How? So
I'm
someone actually asked me if this episode was gonna be what it's like being Caleb's in-law.
Oh.
But I don't think that was in the
pleasure.
notes.
It is a dream.
Literally got that question at church today.
It is a blessing to
I
be
have
my
special insights on Caleb because I'm his sister-in-law and I've gotten to observe not just him, but all the Foremans.
That's
No.
true. Would
The
you say
Foremans are
it
an
is-
interesting group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I bet she could. Ooh.
I have a lot of insights.
No, she couldn't.
Is Chris still the coolest of them all?
I am so deeply in love with my husband. He
Oh my
is
God.
actually the best
Aw.
person. He happens to be the most emotionally mature man I know. He's the most emotionally mature person I know.
Yeah.
So if something comes up, if there's an issue, it just so happens that he is the person I want to go to talk
Yeah.
about things. So we have just a very lovely relationship. And
It's
I
amazing.
feel like the luckiest woman alive.
That is amazing. I love to hear that.
That's true.
Caleb, I love when you speak about your spouse that way too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So let's get into some comments.
Well, real
I think
quick.
it's genuinely heartwarming. Well, because people will, speaking of complaining, we're going to get into that in a moment, but you hear so much negativity around marriage.
Yes.
And I realized this, actually, it was a trip that we made to Kansas City where we were talking with a group of Chris's friends. And they were like, how are you guys? Or if I was alone with my girlfriends, it'd be like, how are you and Chris? And when I say, we're fantastic, I'm so in love with him, we're doing great. Most people are like, that's great, I'm happy for you. And then the conversation just moves on.
Mhm.
But if I were to say, there was a bunch of drama, it's not so good, then people kind of lean forward and go, really?
They want the tea.
Tell me more.
Yep.
And so there's sort of this hunger for the drama and like we're going to sink our teeth into a problem together.
Yes.
And I realized on that trip, okay, stability is not an attention getter.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It's not an attention getter.
Just like when you put things on Facebook that are positive or in a happier light, they don't get as much likes or anything. But if you put something that is hot topic, it's gonna be like, lit up.
Yeah, people jump all over it. So you have to have enough courage and enough stability inside you to genuinely want peace over drama.
I like that.
Genuinely. Like, we genuinely do not.
Because you can say it,
We-
but that doesn't mean you actually.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But we both want peace. We both want the stability and the loving environment. And it's good to speak up and say that because then people will get more examples of, marriage is wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love
And
that.
having that person to support you and care for you.
Which is what a marriage should be. I mean, you should feel, of course, every marriage is going to have its issues. Sometimes the Kiwis are on sale and you just can't understand the language. But,
You feel good about yourself?
I do. I had to slide that back in there. But no, I think when you feel whole with someone, like you can be your whole self around them, good, bad,
Yes.
and ugly is huge. And I know, Caleb, I know from experience that you also feel that way
Yeah, of course
about
he
your
does.
wife.
Let's just get into some comments.
Before
and
we
keep this
do, well, I did want to mention, you mentioned she was a musician, and I will say, not last time, it was our first trip to LA. We went out and we actually went to your husband's, one of his company he helps with, Zenith. I almost said Sono Bello for some reason. It's not even, anyways. And so we got to try a bunch of really cool therapeutic techniques out there, but he had mentioned your album Fairy Tales. And so we got in our car and listened to it. And I just got to say that is an amazing album lyrically. Like, it takes you on a whole journey. I believe is it Down the Rabbit Hole?
Yeah, it's a
Dream.
concept album. So it starts with Once Upon a Time, and then the last track is Happily Ever After. But there's all kinds of fairy tales in between.
Yes.
I have a song called The Little Mermaid. I have a song called Sleeping Beauty. And it's for any Disney millennial kid that grew up in the 90s and got that incredible Disney Renaissance age.
Yeah.
But then we grow up as adults and we have all these things to process. So it's sort of looking at adulthood through the lens of Disney fairy tales. And it was a lot of fun to make.
Which is amazing because
Thank you for listening.
You wrote, produced, like you did everything with that, correct?
I did everything. Actually, I was meeting with someone recently and they were just getting to know me on behalf of this company. And towards the end of the meeting, they were like, by the way, how did you afford this to make this album? Which I took as a compliment because it meant like, this sounds expensive.
Yeah, the production quality was high.
Yeah.
I was like, well, thank you for the compliment. I did it all myself. That's like how I afforded it. It's me producing it. It was me at my desk alone at 3 a.m. doing it all myself. And it took 10 years for me to get to a point where I could even produce a song and say, that's how I wanted that to sound.
Yeah.
You guys have heard that concept of the gap. When you begin something, there's a gap between what you wish it sounded like and what you actually can achieve.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really frustrating no matter what you're learning. The piano, the guitar, for me, it was music production. I started at 19 and it was like, okay, I know what radio ready sounds like. And this is the that I'm making right now that I'm capable of doing. And it took a long time. It took a long time for me to be like, I'm a professional. I can charge money for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes work. And then, but the only way to close the gap is to keep going.
Instead
you
of
have to
stopping when it gets
create
rough,
1,000 tracks. And then one night at 4 a.m., you listen and you go, that's exactly how I wanted this to sound.
That makes okay. I like that. I was actually not tonight because we're not talking about songwriting, but I was in my mind. I was like, I need to ask her about this and this and this, which is for off camera. But
Totally.
that actually helped me a lot. And before we go into comments, someone
still
actually
haven't
dropped.
gotten to the comments.
No, we
Okay.
haven't. Someone actually dropped a package off for you as a late birthday gift. So they wanted me to give it to you.
What is this?
This is for you from one of our viewers who comments quite a bit.
It's a present.
Wait, what?
It's
Yeah.
a Hogwarts themed present.
This is.
I want to see if you probably won't guess who
Open
it
it.
is.
Open it.
It says it's from Albus. This is. I don't even want to open it. This is just beautiful.
The package, I mean, it literally says Dumbledore on there.
It says
and everything.
Albus. It's like stamped Albus Dumbledore, and it's like there's a wax seal. This is. All right, let me just get right to it because we're running late on film here
This
already.
is incredibly exciting.
This is so beautiful. Like this is for me. Like someone was like, "Hey, give this to Caleb."
They sure were.
Thank you.
One of our viewers. I want to see if you can figure out who it is.
Whoever you are. I mean, maybe
It's someone you know, obviously.
I want to reserve my thanks maybe because what if I don't like them and I'm like, oh, they got me something. Oh, they're all right. You know what? Yeah. Somebody knows I'm like a Harry Potter fan.
They said it was a late birthday gift.
A late birthday gift. This is so crazy. It's a magic wand.
Try a spell. Wingardium Leviosa.
Is that a charger?
This thing works, or this is a real thing. This is
So while you're opening it, I'm going to give you clues on who this is from.
Uh-huh.
This is a viewer of ours. They have watched, I believe, all the episodes. They were late to the game, but they did get to watch them. They do comment quite frequently. You've known this person for many years.
this is the Elder Wand.
I don't think you heard anything I just said.
This person's commented for many episodes. They've been a friend of mine for many years.
You have known this person for many years.
Is this from Trina?
No. It is someone that goes to our church,
Dang.
is in the tech booth, and plays on stage.
Jared Prindle?
Yes.
He got me a gift?
Yes.
You know what's funny? When I was saying this, somebody I probably don't like, and I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. Jared, thank you this is crazy. I'm so surprised because it's when someone blesses you with something that you didn't think that they would even think about you. Like that's wild to me. Like
He brought it last night because we had a murder mystery party and he thought you were coming. But
that is so
we let him know
wild.
we're here,
Jared,
so-
thank you so much. Like again, like I would not even think that Jared would pass me one thought. Like I don't expect to cross anybody's mind really. So
Yeah.
the fact that he got me this wine and like it actually like works and stuff. This is wild.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
A
Thank
great
you.
gift makes you feel seen.
really that's incredible.
I feel like your words are taken away.
Yeah, because it's
Speechless,
Jared.
that's the word I was thinking.
I beef with,
Beautiful.
bro. I beef with Jared like every Sunday. Like, so the fact that he still was like, "Yo, thank you." That's incredible.
Now you're gonna have to be nicer to him.
I am.
Try a
Goodness.
spell. Try a
Well,
spell.
you know, I go to church, so I'm not gonna be trying no witchcraft in here. I don't wanna go
He's a
that far.
real big Christian. Watch some of our episodes, you can tell. All right, let's go to some comments.
Comments.
So, from our old episode. So this last one comes from the video where not our last episode, sorry.
It comes from an episode where I asked you what would be the largest animal you think you could take out
In a
in a
15
15 by 15 room. Like what's the animal?
And Caleb said a pig.
I said a pig. I could take out a pig.
He also said a penguin.
I stand by that.
Did you see the fact check that Julie
I
put in there?
stand by what I said.
Yeah, you would lose. But this comes from Shamrock Zach 16. It says a pig would level Caleb. Does he not realize how big they get? And then someone right after that said, "Y'all have me rolling. Caleb, don't underestimate pigs. They are mean."
I could take out a pig. Bare hands. I could choke out a pig.
I don't know about that. Also from our video on how long do you keep cards? This comes
Greeting
from
cards.
yes, like birthday cards and stuff like that. Which, just to fact check, he did not throw my card away. Thank you.
Still there.
Comes from Ashley Likely. Yeah, I'm not the friend who keeps the card. I keep cards for my sister, parents, and hubby. Everyone else. That emoji.
How long do you keep a
cards?
greeting card?
Okay, so if it's a holiday Christmas card, they come in during the season. That's cute. You can put them up on display. It's sort of like until the energy of that particular holiday has simmered down. So if it's holiday cards, when does the magic of Christmas begin to go away? Like mid-January for sure. They can all kind
it
of
stays
go
all year
away.
round.
And then you just
Birthday, it's like you got your birthday week, birthday couple weeks, enjoy all your gifts and your cards. And then it's like, okay, we're ready to move on. Chris sends me flowers
No.
and surprises me, and those always come with a card, and so we put them in like a special box, so I keep those.
That's cool.
I
Yeah.
keep everything.
so
for me.
Christmas
So it depends on
cards
the person.
you keep.
Yeah.
But my Christmas card that I send y'all, it's up for the month, and then after that's over, you're like, all right, that's enough out of Caleb.
What would you have me do with your card, Caleb?
I would have been
He
touched
wants
to
you to
know that you
frame it
kept
and-
them.
Frame it
Would
and
you
put it by your
like
bedside.
for me
apparently.
to frame
Not anymore.
each and every?
Might even take y'all off the
Every
list
year
now.
just to have
Wait, are you sending holiday cards now in matching sweaters with you, Emily, and baby Gabriel?
I have sent y'all 2 Christmas cards so far.
Matching sweaters?
No, they're just Christmas cards.
No, last year I think it was just pictures that you had taken them at church. That was
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
but it's all right.
Well, the next one I'll go ahead and enlarge it.
Won't even be in next.
Frame
Won't
Yeah,
even
can
be
you
in
send
next
her
one.
a 16 by 20 version in a frame?
that I'll keep up
Nope.
year round.
If I know my card's being tossed out, I'm not sending you.
Angelique, one thing you will learn about me is I am a wrestling fan. I do like WWE. Used to not tell people that, but now I'm. Are you leaving already?
Boy, go on.
And so one of our episodes was wrestling themed, and Caleb brought up the very annoying question. It's not real, which apparently it was Chris that
Sure was.
came in and ruined it for you, right?
He rent it for me.
Yeah, I say ruined.
That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the validation. But this video said, I used to think like this. Then 6 months ago or so, I started watching it, and now I'm watching every Monday and Friday. LOL. I don't know how it roped me in, but I love it. LMAO. So maybe you just need to start watching them, Caleb.
Yeah.
Angelique, you can start watching them if you want. Do you like wrestling?
I have never watched wrestling. I confess.
Well, your husband did tell Caleb it's not real. And so that's when Caleb stopped watching it when he
He
was a
rent
kid.
it for me.
Whatever sparks joy, you guys. Whatever sparks joy. I'm a fall girl because I love pumpkin spice lattes and fall
Yes.
leaves. Chris is a fall girl because he loves football. And as excited as I get about Disneyland and fall and pumpkin spice lattes and crunchy leaves and all the things, he is that excited about football starting and his team playing other teams and the teams that he hates, the teams that he loves.
What's his team?
He's still a Chiefs fan, right?
No, Chris loves the Broncos.
Okay. I was just curious to know if you knew what his team was.
He likes the Broncos.
I'm his wife. Of course I know his team. He loves the Broncos.
I guess he
But
likes losing.
all that to say, whatever sparks joy, just lean into that
That's
and keep fostering joy in your life.
Unless you're a Broncos fan.
In which case, you're not welcome in Kansas City.
I'm just kidding. Another comment from that video. Wait till this guy finds out the Avengers is scripted and Thanos didn't actually snap away half of the world's population. Now you do know that's scripted, right?
Look, I know I didn't get snapped, so
All right. All
I'm
right.
fine.
I threw this one in there just because I found it interesting. One of the videos when I was talking about how men need to let their pride go, someone commented, and I don't know what the why they
I know.
commented this.
I know you don't know. Because you're white, you don't know.
Anyways, how did you guys get Sade Adu on your show?
Sade is how you pronounce her name. And that's because Michaela
Looked like her.
looks like Sade. So
Yeah.
that's why the comment is.
But I was wondering if they actually thought we had that.
She favors her a little bit.
Well, yes, I know. Anyways, move on.
Oh my goodness. You're pitiful.
I'm
All
sorry.
right. Question of the day.
Question of the day.
No. Is it time already for questions of the day?
We've been waiting on you.
Okay, stop it. Okay, Angelique, this is for you, honestly, because you claim to be a midnight mouse. So I'm gonna have you just kind of pick your snacks. I'm gonna give you some snacks, and you're gonna pick one or the other.
Picture like a bracket.
A
So
bracket.
We're
gonna do a
getting the
bracket.
final winner. So like a final.
And
four
these are for
bracket.
midnight snacks only.
Okay.
So your midnight snack choices are either pizza or popcorn.
Pizza,
Chips or pretzels.
chips,
PB&J or a Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would go
gross.
PB&J.
Yeah. Cereal or a banana?
Banana in the cereal.
I mean, valid point, but you have to
Either
choose one of those. That is
Cereal.
Okay. Levi, keep track of what she says. So I'm going to go the other
You
ones.
get that crunch.
Now, this is a weird one for me, but either you can get peanuts or scrambled eggs. This is midnight snacks only. Look, hey, it's on here.
Scrambled eggs.
Really?
or that have a really committed following that contains, it's a more concentrated niche following. But there are a lot of artists out there that are crushing it that have really dedicated fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody that I would say is underrated would be Joliet 4. She's a local singer here in KC, and she produces like a lot of her projects herself. They're self-produced. Like, I don't know why she's not like a sensation right now. Like, because every track is just a banger of a track. Like, her sound is incredibly unique, and it makes me smile when I listen to her music. I'm like, man, this is so good.
Yeah.
Let's get into the topic.
Let's get to the topic.
The funny thing that we're going to talk about, because it's easy to say that we're known on this podcast for just complaining. But we're going to talk about complaining for just a bit, and in itself. And this is a concept that Angelique brought to me almost like a year or two ago about the 21-day complaint challenge.
So she noticed.
Shh. So it's based off a book by Will Bowen. Angelique, could you kind of explain what his goal is, or what like the purpose of the
like what's the vibe? So actually, Will Bowen was a pastor in Kansas City.
Really?
Yes. I think he's still here. You guys could meet him if you wanted to. He's a pastor.
Hey, if you want to come on the podcast.
Oh, we got to look him up now.
Look him up and invite him if you are interested, because he's a really amazing speaker and a cool guy. And he was a pastor of a church in Kansas City. And churches do challenges all the time, right? So he was like, you know what we appreciate expands in our lives. So he came up with just this idea where you put on a bracelet, and if you complain, criticize, or gossip, you take the bracelet off, you switch it to the other wrist, and it creates an awareness that you just said something out loud that was negative or complaining. And the whole goal really is to refocus our attention on all the blessings in our lives. Yeah. There's so much good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So we focus on that, and it does this and expands. And with the negative stuff that we love to harp on and ruminate about, it does this. Whatever you focus on expands and continues to attract into your life. So he created this challenge, and people went nuts and noticed that their lives were transforming, because you're actually training yourself to be a happier person, a more grateful person. So now, like 11 million bracelets have gone out into the world. They actually ceremoniously presented the 11 millionth bracelet to Maya Angelou before she passed. He was on Oprah. So I'm not making this up. This is a thing. Millions of people have done this. That is really
cool. Yeah.
So apparently.
So there's a specific bracelet you can get.
There's an official bracelet you can get. It's a purple bracelet that says a complaint-free world on it. But really, any bracelet will do. It doesn't even, you can take your ring like this and rotate it. Because the point is, I am now making a connection between what's coming out of my mouth and actually becoming aware of it. Yeah. Apparently, the average person complains 16 to 30 times a day and has no awareness of it.
Oh, those are rookie numbers.
I was going to say, I feel like it's probably higher now.
For some people, it's lower. If you're someone who's more soft-spoken and you're not constantly running your mouth all the time, you're going to have an easier time. Or if you spend a whole day by yourself, that's a free day, right? Yeah. But if you get out and now you're with people that tend to trigger you, or you get on a topic that tends to kind of bring you down, that's an opportunity to say, what's going to come out of my mouth right now? I have a really funny story about this. Yeah. Just how we immediately attract more of what comes out of our mouth. It's just a law of the universe. One time, I was in New York with my friend, and we were having a great time. She was showing me all around New York, and it's 4th of July, and she takes me to this beach called Rockaway Beach.
Okay.
And I'm with her friends, and we all get into the water. And in California, the sand is really fine. You walk on it, and it kind of feels like a massage on your feet. But in this particular beach, it all consisted of tiny, sharp rocks. Ugh. So when you walked on it, you kind of needed sandals to kind of get in. But, you know, you kind of tiptoe towards the water, and then you get into the water. And I'm with our friends, and we start to go deeper and deeper into the ocean. And as we're going further out, I'm getting more and more anxious.
Yeah.
And so I turn to the girls. I'm like, we're kind of deep now. Maybe we're like at our shoulders. And I say to them, I feel like maybe when I was younger, a wave hit me and kind of dragged me under because I was little, when I was young. And I think because of that, I always feel kind of nervous when I'm in the ocean. It makes me feel afraid. Yeah, I think definitely probably a big wave hit me and dragged me under. I say this. The very next wave hits me, drags me under. What did I say the beach was called? Rockaway Beach. My whole side gets the wave doesn't just knock me, it drags me all the way up to the shoreline. My whole leg gets scraped. My whole backside gets scraped against these rocks by the current. I spend the whole day on my stomach with my, backside facing up. I couldn't really put sunscreen on it because I didn't want it to get infected.
Yeah.
I couldn't really turn because I had bled. My skin broke. So I spend the whole day on my stomach. I get really badly sunburned. Really bad. And I spend the whole rest of the trip with like a blistered backside.
Yeah.
Now, there are a million things I could have said instead of, let's relive some weird distant trauma and I'm going to talk about that. I could have said anything. I could have said, girls, teach me how to body surf today. Tell me when to hold my breath. 3, 2, 1, everybody duck under. There is a multiverse break off point where I say literally anything else and have a completely different rest of my day. But because I open my mouth and I decide to relive some past trauma.
Which, did that happen to you when you were younger?
It probably did. I think it did. But that was the thing. It's like I could have woken up that morning saying, I'm going to conquer the waves today. Someone's going to teach me how to body surf. So it was and my friend who doesn't usually say things like this was like, you created this with your fear and with your wits. It was instantaneous, you guys. The very next wave.
That is
And that's
wild.
how life works. We say these things out loud and the very next wave is going to hit us. You want to complain about your job, the very next wave is going to come to you. Another big moment for you to just complain about and sink your teeth into if you want. But there's a multiverse break off point. I mean, we've been seeing so many movies now about the multiverse. Anytime I see a movie that has a sliding door reality, I always think that's interesting and I'll click on it. But it's true. What we say out loud immediately affects how things are going to go. Think about conversations. I sit down at Caleb's dining room table, let's say. Oh, no. I know Caleb.
Oh, no.
So because I know him,
what it's like
there
to be
are
an
a
in-law.
million great fun things we could talk about. I could bring up Harry Potter. We could talk about that for hours. I could bring up Hairspray because I know that's his favorite musical. We could talk about songwriting. There's so much great fun stuff we could talk about. But the point I'm making is, instead, it's like, what if there's a multiverse moment where I sit down and I just start complaining about my flight? This is what we do. We go for what I call the low-hanging fruit. All we really want is to make a connection. Yeah. Here's this person in front of me. I don't know them that well. What do I say? There's a period where we're scrambling. And so we just reach for the low-hanging fruit and we complain or we say something negative. Yeah. But there is a multiverse moment where we choose just a better, healthier, funner, more creative option. Just anything else. There's so much good stuff. So that is the premise of the Complaint-Free Challenge. You create your life by the words you're saying out loud. And so often, again, if we're complaining 16 to 30 times a day and we have no awareness of it, it's just about starting to become intentional. So you say a complaint out loud, you take the bracelet off, you switch it to the other wrist, and you're back on day one.
So did you do this challenge when you read this book, or how did you find out about this?
I found out about it through my sister. She kind of introduced me to the whole concept, and then I have done it, I think 3 or 4 times in my life. I've brought my students in on it when I, teach music, and it's amazing how the most negative people in my life are like, oh, that's dumb. And the most positive people in my life that are pretty much already complaint-free are like, that sounds like a really life-giving thing. I should really go ahead and do that. Yeah. So there are people out there that are addicted to complaining and negativity.
I agree with that. And I think that something like this could easily change kind of the way life is now, because I think life is so driven by hot topics, like what's going on wrong with celebrities in the news, what's happening here, this person doesn't have enough of that, comparing yourself to other people at work instead of lifting yourself up. And this world has become that culture. And I think that something like this could really, imagine if everyone did this.
It'd be transformative.
Yeah.
Because there's always a reason underneath the complaint. I know you guys have, I sent this to you, but it's always a reason that we're complaining.
The 5 reasons?
The 5 reasons why we complain. And there is, for every complaint we say, or for every negative thing or passive aggressive thing, there is a healthier substitute underneath. So if you do complain, which you're going to complain, and then you notice it, and I like to just add one extra step, you switch your bracelet, but then take a moment and be like, why did I say that?
Yeah.
And what could I have said that would have been a healthier way to communicate what I'm trying to communicate?
Because then that's training your brain for the future when you don't have the bracelet on.
Yeah.
And so that you can actually transform your mind outside of just having a bracelet on, making it a lifestyle change, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, totally.
Which you did talk about the 5 reasons we complain. So they are attention. People often complain.
Yeah, they complain to get attention. So we were at a party recently. My husband's at his 20-year high school reunion. And so you get all these people together that haven't seen each other in 20 years. What do you say to this person, right? So I love to say, what are you excited about lately? I'll say this to people at parties. That's always what people say. Oh, that's a cool question. Because what's like the stereotypical question people ask?
What do you do?
So what do you do? It's
Which
like,
I hate that question.
Why would
it's such
you
a dumb
ask that?
question.
Like, we are not at work. This person could be really excited about their job. And so when you lead with, what are you excited about? And they say, my career. I'm like, yes, that's awesome. But it gives them the opportunity to lead with something that's going to spark joy for them, whether it's a new pet or a vacation. And then you get to join them in their excitement rather than, so what do you do? But so often we utter complaints, or we'll start, gossiping about someone or whatever. And really all I'm trying to do is like get attention, connect with the person in front of me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, instead of grabbing for the low-hanging fruit, choose a healthier question, choose a better quality question. And the conversation, again, multiverse moment. Now we're talking about this great vacation you're so excited about instead of...
I like how you said it, finding their joy, because if you do ask someone, what do you do? If you ask Caleb, what do you do? You're not as excited.
Never. I hate that question.
Yeah. And so then your response instantly has more of a low drawn effect.
I think
low energy.
Yeah.
I think the reason that I hate that question, and I think a lot of people don't like that question, is because what they're looking, I feel like what they're looking for when they ask, what do you do? They're looking for a way to assess value based on your occupation. Like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a lawyer. Oh, I work at Wendy's. Oh, okay. And so like, I feel like when you state your occupation, the person that hears it immediately assesses a value to you based on what you say, what you do. So that's why I don't really like the question, because again, it's like, why do you care what I do? Like, what? I feel like that's so unimportant to ask someone, unless like, if you really are curious. But as a conversation starter, I feel like that's just, to me, that's too.
Which I get that.
Nuanced.
I like your question you asked.
Yeah.
What are you
more,
excited about?
So what are you
I will
excited
say-
about?
You asked me that when you came into town.
Yeah.
The first person to ever ask me that question, his name was Nate Nall.
Oh yeah.
And it was a
Nate.
couple of years ago. Nobody has ever asked me that question before. He said, "Hey, what are you excited about?" And I was like, "Whoa." I was so thrown off by it because, again, like, we haven't seen each other in a bit, and he wanted to catch up. And instead of saying, what have you been up to? It's, what are you excited about? Because those are two different answers. What have I been up to and what am I excited about? Two different things.
Yeah,
So-
different. You're going to draw out a different quality conversation and a different energy from that person. And I like to be someone who is gonna always kind of skew or cheat the conversation back towards a higher, however you want to say it, higher vibration,
positive,
more positive energy. The best compliment I ever got, or one of my favorite compliments, was when my sister and I were invited to this dinner. and something in me just didn't want to go. It wasn't a 100% yes. So I was like, I'm going to pass on this, but tell me how it goes. And she circles back and she's like, the conversation kind of went to a dark place. It was like everyone got super negative and it was hard to find the way out. And so she said, I was literally racking my brain like, what would Angelique say to turn this conversation around? What are the questions? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so flattered to have been thought of in this moment. But my go-to questions are, what are you excited about these days? I love to ask people, especially if I'm in a room full of creatives, there's a lot of people in LA that you meet. I'll ask, so what's the dream project?
Okay, I like that.
Because it's easy. It's easy. I could fill up 2 hours of this conversation with why the industry is so hard. But what I love to ask people is, what's your dream project? What's the dream for you? The ultimate.
What's your
and
drive?
they'll kind of think and they'll smile and they'll say, Marvel. I want to be like a Marvel character. And then we all get a chance as a group to go, yes, we see this for you. This can happen for you.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to align with each other's dream projects. I asked this question once we were all having margaritas and I was like, so what's everybody's dream project? And one person described this really specific kind of thriller genre. And 2 people at the table said, oh, we know the perfect director for you to meet.
Oh, wow.
So it's, creating those kinds of connections, giving
then
people
it leads to even more connections. Yeah.
Then it leads
That
to
scares
even
me
more.
though.
Why?
Because when you ask someone about their dreams, it opens them up to share and be authentic, but it also opens up to be ridiculed about their dreams. And I think there's a fear behind that. Like, what's your dream? Oh, I want to be in a Marvel project. Haha. Like, I don't want that. Oh, okay. Like,
If you have people that are going to respond to you that way, get better friends. You need to be surrounding yourself with people that when they hear your far-fetched big dream, they go, how can I help you? Hell yes. I was on the phone with someone describing to him the movie that I'm creating right now, and his immediate response, and it's pretty far-fetched what I'm doing, his immediate response was, oh yeah, I have a friend that did exactly what you're doing, and he succeeded. Let me tell you about that.
That's
And I
awesome.
hung up the phone like, yes.
Yeah.
This is why I have friends that are on my level. And if you have people that you share your authentic, vulnerable dream with them, and their reaction is to go, ha ha, that's never going to happen. Time to get better friends.
Well, and I, it's not on the reasons we complain, but fear can hold us back a lot of times.
oh
And
yeah,
I
totally.
think if we're in conversation, afraid of what the other person might say, because we have become such a negative, culture nowadays. It's such negative that you are expecting people to say the worst. Like, I know when we put out videos for podcasts, you've said this to me and I've said this to you. There's a million things we put out there that we feel like this is really good. This is going to have a lot of views, and it goes nowhere. But then you do one video that people disagree with, and it's the highest video. And it's so interesting because people do want to latch onto the negative. And I really, really think that if people could latch onto this concept, I try to stay more positive, but everyone is faulty when it comes to being negative. And I know, especially at work, I can get very exhausted. And so
That's the big one.
I
Yeah.
always say that I'm a really positive person, and none of my friends agree with me about that. They always like, no, you're one of the most negative people we know. I'm like, that's not true. I'm the most positive person.
you just hide a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You just hide your feelings a lot. But I think you're a positive person.
I think I'm the most positive person.
Am I supposed to weigh in on this?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I think I do want to circle back about when we have a dream to share and we're afraid people are going to stomp on it. I always say an idea truly is like a vulnerable root at first. If you think about before a tree becomes this incredible tree, we couldn't push it down if we tried. It's a vulnerable root, and it has to take root and grow. And it's really important when you have a brand new dream.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this vulnerable baby that the slightest rough breeze or the slightest scoff or comment could totally crush it. So it's important that we foster it first within ourselves And next step, you share it with enough people that you know are a safe person. Where if I tell you, hey, I have this dream, this is a real dream of mine. I want to be a Disney princess who has not been invented yet. I want to be the voice of an animated Disney princess who has not been invented yet. And furthermore, I want to be the first voice of a Disney princess who is also kind of involved in the songwriting and the music production.
Yes.
I say this to people. I do not care if everyone says please, because I have said this to enough people and gathered enough strength about this that I believe it now for myself. And I know that it's possible for myself. But there was a time when I needed to be really intentional about who I shared this with, because the wrong person can really easily stomp on it. So you just have to be discerning. Who is a safe person that I can really share in a safe space with? And it's not so much about cutting unsafe people out of your life, because again, that's focusing on the negative side of it. But it's more like, let me pray and try to intentionally attract more and more and more people into my life that when they hear about my goals and my dreams, they're going to go, let's go. How can I help you? You can do it.
So on that note, so when you do find those people that are not filling you up or lifting you up in your aspirations, how would you go about it without cutting them off? Not cutting them off, but like, ending that friendship. And because I think what you said there, whereas you end it kind of on a negative note and that's what you hold on to, is very true. And I know for me, I was like, yeah, that is true. And I don't want to hold on to that negative. I want to see the positive. Cause I see all the positive memories and everything, but is there a better way you would say to go about it?
I would say sit down, make a vision board for your dream house, your dream career, your dream life, the kind of people that you want to be in your life. Make a vision board and write down all the qualities that you want in a group of friends or in a friend, and just focus more on that and less about exactly how I'm going to draw boundaries with this super toxic person. I mean, sometimes that is necessary and there's people that can speak to that. But I would say for this conversation, try to focus more on what's going to spark joy for you in the day. I am attracting friends and friendships that are beautiful and empowering. I am able to give and receive. I am appreciated in my friendships, and just start to live more in that space. And then that will come to you.
I did want to also just touch on, at least mention them. You could probably speak more in depth about these, but the 5 reasons we complain. So there's attention, responsibility, envy, power, and excuse.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll move through them quickly. To get attention, to make a connection. Again, I'm sitting at Caleb's dinner table. He's asking me, what's up, sis? What have you been up to? Am I going to reach for the low-hanging fruit, or am I going to say something positive and uplifting, get the conversation going on the right track? The second one, remove responsibility. How often we complain when something has gone poorly and we just don't want to take the blame. Instead of showing up and being like, I could have put this in a kinder way. I'm sorry that I said that. Instead, we go, well, you're so sensitive. And, we complain and we lash out instead of just stepping in and taking responsibility.
Yeah.
I could complain on and on and on and on about the music industry, or I can look back on my career and say, yeah, there were some things I want to take responsibility for. I could have handled that better. And now moving forward, I'm accountable to be responsible.
Yeah.
So the magic question is, okay, if it were possible, how would you do it? How would you get it done? And start taking on more responsibility. Start realizing truly we create our lives with the words we say, with the thoughts we think in our head. And if your life isn't the way you want it to be, try to reframe, try to make the vision board. We are constantly in this epic collaboration between me, the people around me, and God, the universe, whatever Geek Squad is running this particular simulation that we're in. And it's a lot like songwriting, where if we were to us three get into a room and write a song, we might talk really briefly about what we don't want it to sound like. I don't want it to get into this kind of lane. Okay, cool. But that's going to be seriously like 1% of the conversation. And then we'll very quickly pivot back into, okay, but what are we writing? Right? What song are we trying to create? And there would be ideas. No, that's not quite right. How can we say that in a more clever way? Okay, we're back on track. Now we've crafted our hook. And that's how we would actually create something.
Yeah.
But so often what we do in life is we keep dwelling on what song we're not trying to write. And then the cart just starts to skew over right into the lane we don't want to be in. Because that's where we're focusing. So that's remove responsibility. What was the next one? Inspire envy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all gossip. I have a person in my life. She's always been in my life. And I was at this party. I was right in the middle of doing a complaint-free challenge, so it was fresh in my mind. And I noticed that she was surrounded by women kind of talking in a low voice like this. And you can always tell when someone's gossiping because they kind of get this look on their face like this. And you can just tell, even if you're not listening to the conversation, you just know that they're just dishing right now. And she was surrounded by women.
That impression was too spot on.
Thank you.
You're a phenomenal actress.
Thank you so much. Well, you know the energy, you know the look even from across the room. And I observed her from across the room. And I realized this person always has a piece of gossip. And it's good. It's juicy gossip.
It's what
this
people
person is surrounded always by drama. And remember what I said earlier about how stability is not an attention getter?
Yeah.
Gossip is a big attention getter. And if you grow up from a young person learning, ooh, this is how I get people to pay attention to me and notice me and be surrounded by me, then it becomes like a crutch. And you always, even unconsciously, attract gossip into your life. So that's inspire, envy, or gossip. You know, we gossip to make ourselves feel better. I'm going to talk shit about this person's outfit because really subliminally, I want you to compliment my outfit. It's always about comparison. Like, oh, that person, they're so rude. They don't have any couth. Really what you're saying is, I'm so great. I don't have that particular flaw.
You're disregarding all your own,
Yeah.
just so you can point out someone else's.
So if someone is complaining to you about someone else and they're talking noise about that person, literally all you have to do is compliment them. Like, well, they can't all be as great as you. You know, you're just so respectful and kind and sweet. They will end they will move on.
Yeah, they won't expect that. Yeah.
They got the little treat they were after, which was for you to compliment them on whatever topic. They will move on. I promise you that.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I've experimented with this. What's the next one?
Power.
Power. Okay. People complain for power. They're making a power play. I want you to vote for me, not that person. And so instead of really talking about everything I'm going to offer, we're just going to like shit on that person.
Yes.
And this could be
Oh my
anything. It could be a work contest. It could be I'm up for this promotion, so is this other person. It could be anything. It could be two exes competing for a lover. You know, we're gonna like, it's a power play. I want you on my side. And so instead of just being kind and serving the people around me, I'm just gonna like tear that person down. So that's power.
Which is so true. Yeah.
And then
excuse.
Excuse your poor performance. So it's like, you know, this ended badly. It was a disaster. It was a failure. Instead of stepping up and being like, okay, let's do a, what do you call it, babe, in the Army? A past action review?
A deep dive?
There's a phrase in the Army. Okay, so in the Army, it's called an after action review. If something is an abysmal failure, you do an after action review and you say, you know, I take responsibility for this. I'm going to be better next time. Or, hey, babe, I know when I said that, I lashed out at you. I hurt your feelings. You know, it's because that is a particular trigger for me. But I know that you love me and you didn't mean anything by it when you said that. I'm sorry I lashed out. That's all it takes. Take responsibility and move on. But no, we don't want to do that. We're going to like be like, well, you, and we're going to start complaining.
Yeah.
So those are all the reasons. And so I have done this before. Have you guys ever done the Daniel fast? This is kind of a...
No, but I know about it.
We know about the
Okay, it's a
Daniel fast.
really clean diet where you can only do high quality, like vegetables.
And fruits,
You cut
right,
out
yeah.
all kinds of stuff, sugar. And so when you're on a diet or a fast, your body is desperately craving, let's say, sugar. And you want to eat like 12 sugar cookies, but you can't because you're on the Daniel fast or whatever. So you have to think to yourself, okay, really, I'm just craving sugar. Let me go for an apple or a banana. And I'm giving my body what it's asking me for, but not in a way that's the low hanging fruit, literally the most unhealthy choice. It's kind of like, oh, every time you yawn, you have to drink a whole case of Red Bull. No, you can, there's all sorts of healthy options. And so complaining is the same.
Yeah.
You know, well, you gotta vent. No, you have to process your feelings. There's a difference between venting and processing.
Yeah.
Venting, if I called you up and I was like, can I just vent to you about something? Am I looking for a solution? No, I just want to like
because a lot of times
all my negative feelings onto you.
And if I was to respond to you, you would just kind of overlook that and continue on with your venting.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like, can I just vent to you? Am I looking for no? But I could call my brother-in-law and be like, Caleb, can I process something with you? I want to talk to you about this. Am I looking for a solution? I want to find a way through this, and you're gonna help me find a way through. And by the time we hang up, we're gonna have worked through this. You know, that's processing. We all need to process. We all need to express our discontent in some way. But instead of, you know, eating the whole case of Pringles, doing a venting session, we're gonna just process. State the neutral facts. It's not complaining to state the neutral facts.
Which is funny because I know a lot of times if I vent or something in my mind, I'll process this later, you know. There's so many things that I've compartmentalized now that I was going to process later, but I never did, you know. And so that's really good because then you're taking an action to go ahead and get that off your plate. So you don't have to look back at it, process it now, and then you won't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Now, but what if whatever you're about to say, what if it's just completely true? If it's a fact, it just happens to be negative or a complaint. Like the service was bad at a restaurant. Like that's not necessarily is it also true and a complaint? Like
so beautiful example. Eckhart Tolle in his book A New Earth says it's not complaining to tell the waiter your soup is cold, can it please be heated up? Right? Excuse me, my soup is cold. Can you please heat it up? Thank you so much. Not a complaint. You stated the neutral facts. You went directly and only to the person who can resolve your issue. But what we tend to do is, oh my God, the soup is cold. This place, oh wow, they're so overpriced. That is disgusting. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're late anyway. It's fine. I'm just going to eat the cold soup. God, I guess this is the day I'm having. This is the day I'm having.
And then it starts from that moment.
And then now you've created that reality. And guess which one burns more energy?
Yeah.
Like, you burn off so much energy just complaining to everyone else. You know, someone hurts your feelings. It's not complaining to go directly and only to the person. Like, you know, when you said that, I know you didn't mean it this way, but I took it like you don't respect me.
Yeah.
And then that gives that person the opportunity to go, oh my gosh, no, I that's not what I meant at all. And now we've opened up a dialogue and we've actually worked through it. But instead, we tend to go to everyone else and talk with all of them
about that person,
and
even though the intent wasn't there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, they have no clue that you're upset with them or that you hurt their feelings. So it's improving it by removing the option of complaining. It forces you to become a better communicator and more mature.
Yeah.
Yeah. I happen to know that at Starbucks, they have to remake your order if they don't get it right. And so it's like, okay, you know, positive Pollyanna is going to go, oh, this is iced. I think I wanted it hot. Hold on a second. Can you please, I wanted this hot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So simple.
Instead of degrading them.
Instead of negative Nancy. God.
Can you guys do anything right? Yeah.
And you know, my mom, she's been such a bitch to me lately. It's just that this is the week I'm having.
Yeah.
This is the week I'm having.
Yeah, you've got to change the direction of your reality. I like that.
I've been trying to reflect on like a lot of my interactions, and I'm like, do I complain a lot?
Put on the bracelet.
I don't think I do.
Put on the bracelet and start on day one.
I'm gonna try.
And everything that comes out of your mouth, you switch it, and you're back on day one.
I have had like a couple of days that were not so great, and I did come home and I was like, I need to vent. I want to lament about people. I want to lament about a situation. But what I've done, and this is not like helping the situation, it has given me time to think about people who are positives in my life that would not put me in those kind of situations that I've been in. And so what I'll do is I will text those people or let them know, like, hey, I just want you to know I appreciate you, while I'm thinking about somebody else that's pissed me off that day. I'm like, you know what? This person, though, has not done this. And I really appreciate this person because I've been in a situation with them where they had the opportunity to and they didn't. And I just want them to know, hey, I appreciate you right now. Like, I just thought about you. You're so wonderful to me. And I've been doing that a lot this week because I've been really upset over some things.
No, I love this challenge. I'm
gonna try
interested to read the book because it is a book, correct?
It is a book. There's a wonderful talk on YouTube that I've listened to a bunch of times where he goes through all the 5 reasons we complain and gets into it. But again, it's not complaining to express your discontent if you really are just stating the neutral facts.
Yeah.
But again, it forces you to just go directly to the problem. And so often we don't have the courage to do that because you basically have to take the armor off and say, you know, the truth is when you said that, it hurt my feelings. It's simple as that. Simple as that.
And
most
a lot
of
of
the
people
time.
don't want to have that conversation. So
Yeah.
I'm going to check out this book, and I definitely want to try this challenge out because I tend to think of myself as a positive person, but there were a lot of examples I'm like, I could be doing this so much, this better in this situation. So I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested, we will link the book below so you guys can check it out.
And we're going to get Will Bowen on the show too.
Yeah.
If he's here in KC.
Will Bowen, reach out.
Manifest your destiny.
That's right.
We're tagging this dude.
That's right. I do, before we move on to weekly segment, I want to spend a good chunk of time. You are currently working on a special project.
Let me correct you. She's working on a couple of cool projects.
I believe it. I believe it.
Thank you.
I'm aware of one because I've been following it on Instagram.
Yes.
And-
I've been following on TikTok.
And
I hope we're talking about the
TikTok.
same one.
Well, I would hope so.
Yes. Okay. So I'll start from the beginning. So, you know how the music that grabs you in junior high school just becomes so nostalgic and you expand and you learn about more music. But for some reason, that music that you discover when you're young, it always has the most precious hold on your heart.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Always. So I don't know what that
Caleb
was
says
for
Britney
you guys.
Spears.
Britney
Thank
Spears
you.
for Caleb. What
Yeah.
about for you?
Adele.
Adele, sure.
But that wasn't when I
Really?
was young.
No,
though.
Adele was just
I mean,
amazing.
Yeah, I think of like high school
It
and
still
like
is.
stuff. That is someone who I always
Yeah.
jammed out to. But I mean, if we were going younger, there's others, but I can't think right now.
Just whatever you fall in love with in
Yeah.
junior high school, it has such a profound hold on you.
I like how
So-
you just stuck with Britney Spears and
He didn't contradict you at all.
I'm not.
It's not gonna touch that one. For me, it was classic rock.
Yeah.
And I remember being in my dad's car. I was just in the back seat, and back then, kids, we had CDs.
Oh, I thought
And
you were gonna say like cassette tapes.
No, it was by the time I was in junior high, my dad had this really huge stack of CDs. It was like one of those big cases that could hold hundreds of CDs. And it was just when we were in the car, it would be like whatever was in the rotation in the car. And one day he puts on a Heart CD. It's their 1985 album, self-titled, just the Heart album. And the first song plays, and it's the song called If Looks Could Kill. And it starts to play, and it's rock, big classic rock, huge sound, but she's doing runs and stuff, belting really high, doing runs, which is more of an R&B thing. And so I'm listening, I'm 13, and I'm like, who the is this? I became obsessed with this band. So I stole my dad's Walkman, and I would put the Walkman on and play their CD with like me and my little headphones and my little Walkman. I would play their CD over and over and over and over again. And ever since then, I'm now 32. So it's been obviously a long time. I've been studying this woman, taking in her voice, and I've been saying to people for years, you know how they're making a biopic about everybody these days? Bohemian Rhapsody, Elton John gets a biopic, Elvis gets a biopic. They need to make one about heart. And I have to play Ann Wilson, the lead singer. So I'm saying this to people, speaking of sharing your dreams. I'm saying this out loud to people. And this one guy at this party in LA pulls out IMDb on his phone and says, look, they're trying to make this happen for real.
Interesting.
There's a real biopic trying to get made about this band Heart. And so that was the first time I became aware this is a real thing that's happening. So I was in a pivot this summer and decided to just do a deep dive. So I read their autobiography. I listened to it all on audiobook within one day, just inhaled their whole life story, which is amazing. It was a lot to take in. And then I read a physical copy of their book. And somewhere halfway, I discovered this pivot point that I thought could make a really great short film.
Okay.
So Chris and I, my husband and I, executive produced it. We scrounged up all of our money, went through a whole process to access more funds. And I called this director that I've been working with. Her name is Michelle Salcedo. And I pitched her this idea and she said, yeah, let's do it.
That's
so we
awesome.
scouted locations. I wrote a script that I adapted from their autobiography. And I'm acting in it. I'm singing live. I wrote a scene that could showcase me as a singer and actor kind of all in one. And then we made this movie. It was crazy. I have a co-star. There was a whole team all around doing the cinematography, doing the audio. It was an amazing experience. And I have an edit of it now. We are now in post-production. And because I'm a scoring artist and I do music, that's usually what I have been doing for this particular director. I'm now scoring my own movie that I've created.
That is incredible.
So it's just a lot. I wrote the script. I'm acting, starring in it, executive produced it, galvanized the team, and now finally I am providing the underscore, doing all the music, finalizing that this week.
Well, and that is, first off, I mean, imagining that coming out when the finished product is fully done, because you already got an edit, and how proud you must feel, just because that is incredible to do all of that. I have seen a few clips. One that intrigued me is you even spent time in it, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but with a vocal coach to kind of sound more like Anne.
It was my friend Adam, who is a teacher and also just a brilliant musician, and he's in the movie with me as my pianist.
Okay.
And so we were listening really carefully to her voice and the difference between how I would sing it naturally and how she would sing it.
Yeah.
And it's just a slightly different placement. And I was asking him, help coach me on how to sound exactly like her, because I need to nail it. I want to just knock it out of the park. And that was super cool to have his help and to have him be present that day on set. He was amazing. And I can't remember what I was going to say, but yeah, it was super cool. And so this is me creating sort of like a really expensive audition. It's going to be a 9-minute short film that I'm hoping to get to this team that's making the bigger biopic through Amazon. So I'm hoping to get it to Carrie Brownstein, who is supposedly the director-writer for that project, and then Anne and Nancy Wilson, who are the main sisters in the band and would have to sign off on any cast. That's all I know, you guys. That's
For
all
sure.
I know.
And I know you've been posting, some content out there on Instagram, TikTok. That's what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
And I've seen you tag them as well. Have you gotten any
No
traction
feedback
yet?
No feedback yet, but I'm really excited to have the fully fleshed out
And that's going to be
movie.
the biggest part. Yeah.
That's going to be really exciting to start sharing once we have the movie, because then I can send it to them in a more official way.
Yeah.
Hopefully make contact, and then they can see me in this role as Anne Wilson.
Hopefully see herself.
Absolutely. But I was driving on the freeway and I swelled up with gratitude to the point where I was almost crying, where I realized I am truly living my dream.
That's
by
incredible.
pulling this together. I am playing Anne Wilson. I'm doing the underscore, which is really exciting for me. It's the funnest part for me. And just realizing I created this moment. I created this dream project.
Yeah.
And I almost am feeling a little bit lighter about what happens next.
Yeah.
Because when you create your dream, you don't have to depend on anyone else to give you permission to do your thing. You're just going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always love that. Like, that's one of the coolest things about like just doing something on your own and like starting it yourself. Like, there is such a pride and power in not asking for permission to do something. You just get to do it.
Yeah.
Like with this podcast, and I was just like, let's just do it. Like, we don't have to go to somebody to get permission to start it. I did want to ask you, because because of where you come from and because of your background and because like you are a musician before this transition into what you're actively doing now, my question for you was, how did you find the courage to pursue your own passion when it seemed like your life was kind of planned out for you, or it seemed like your life was headed in one other direction, and now you're like these multiverse moments where you pivot? How did you find when you realized you were pivoting? Because that had to be huge. How did you find the courage to go, I gotta keep going like this way instead of where people think I should go, where my family and friends think I should go? Because this is obviously, it's almost like, hey, this is the easy path for you. And this is like, are you sure you want to do this?
Totally. Yeah. It does take a lot of courage to discover what success looks like for you. Are you guys into the Enneagram at all?
A little bit.
Yes.
I don't know it as much as I want to.
I am not.
Okay. I mean, that's like a side note that we don't even need to get into, but I happen to be a type 3 on the Enneagram, which someone like me will really, really try to be everyone's poster kid, you know, whatever that means. So if I had been in a family of doctors, it would have been like, well, I'm going to be the best doctor and the most highly paid, successful. And it can be very easy to fall into that and to try to fulfill everyone else's dream for you. And that's why I go back to sort of getting centered, making your own vision board. And success is so holistic.
Yeah.
Because I could be this multi-million whatever, and if I'm not finding fulfillment in that, then I would not count that as success.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool to develop my vision boards, get together. I mean, since I'm married, then you have a collective future together as well. That's part of it. But just getting clear for myself has been a journey and a step by step. And it hasn't been one big moment where I've been like, well, now it's time to follow my dream. It's sort of a daily commitment and a daily, okay, I'm feeling a huge wave of fear. I need to center myself once again on what my goal is, why I feel this is going to make me happy, and honor my 13-year-old self, which is important for me, and continuing to have courage. But it comes in waves, and it is important to discover your own version of success.
Yeah.
Because it's up to you and what's going to light you up and bring you joy.
No, and I think it's, you kind of touched on a little bit there, but I think it's really cool that your husband has supported you in this, so much. And I've seen a lot of the social media through him posting as well. And you can see, because I don't talk to Chris on the phone every day, but I can see his excitement for you in the way he posts, and his excitement for this project, and even your excitement. It's been so cool just to see the few clips before, now that I knew this was happening. And so I think it's incredible that you guys did this, that you are creating this. I do want to know, like, how long till the full thing comes out, and where is it going to be posted? The full short film.
Yeah, it'll be a short film, probably on Vimeo or YouTube, and hoping to get it out within a month. I am doing the score right now, and then there's a sound designer that comes in that is literally in charge of all of the sound, every piece of dialogue, everything. And so I hand over my music stems to that person. They get everything nice and organized and clear. Maybe there's a colorist that comes in and shines up the visuals. It's a whole thing, you guys. Yeah. Making a movie, it's been incredibly awakening for Chris and I truly could not have done it without Chris. Truly, truly having his support is amazing. That's why it is so important. Marry the right person. Do not marry someone that's going to bring you down, disparage your dreams. Do not have friends that are going to bring you down and disparage your dreams. That's been huge. Such a huge deal.
Yeah.
Having that support.
That's incredible. You mentioned there's a couple other big projects you're working on.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can legally talk about them. I don't know if they can, because you had talked to me about like this other project or this movie that you did get to score with, I think that same female director, and I don't know if you can actually talk about that yet.
Yeah, well, I can totally come back and tell you when these movies are out. It's pretty crazy watching the whole process, because these directors or whoever is championing this film, you make it, And then you have to go around and basically find distribution.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to give us a deal? Is it Hulu? Is it Apple TV? And you try to get it sort of distributed onto a platform or sometimes multiple platforms. I did score a few years ago a movie called Meeting Miss Lee, which is now on Apple TV, Amazon Prime. So that's out. You can watch that. I'm super proud
I'll
of
have
that
to go check that
soundtrack.
out. Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet? Oh,
Yeah, Meeting Miss Lee.
You didn't tell me about this.
I'm sorry. That's my fault.
You got to be repping.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll
Yeah,
check it
that's
out.
a good one. The soundtrack is out, the movie is out, you can watch it. So that's exciting. But it's such a slow burn on these movies. It's
Has
a
it
long process.
Always been with the same director? Is that how you got connected, or is it different directors?
Different directors. I did one movie, his name is Raphael, and I met him at a networking event. And then met Michelle Salcedo at a different networking event. And did 2 movies with her this year. So it's been a
That's
crazy year.
incredible.
And now this is our 3rd movie we're doing together.
That's incredible.
That is my own project, but it's been really an amazing year. I'm super grateful.
I am really excited to see, like I said, I've seen some clips, I've seen some behind the scenes, but I'm excited to see the full short film.
Thank you.
It's going to be, I already know it's going to be incredible. And I'm going to manifest it for you. And Wilson's going to see it and she's going to be like, that is who's supposed to play me.
Oh,
And
may
it's
it
gonna
be as you
happen.
have said.
So,
And let it be known that I have been vulnerable this entire time. I was so like nervous and feeling jittery that at the end of filming day, it was like a really long day, 12-hour day. I came out of the bathroom after having taken off my heels and finally getting to breathe. And I walked into the arms of my 2 best friends that were there and was like crying and saying, that took so much courage. Oh my God. And they were like, we know you did it. But yeah, I was like, that took so much courage.
Oh my gosh.
It has taken so much courage
Yeah.
every step of the way. I have never put myself out there in this capacity before.
yeah.
It has taken everything. And I feel strongly that for that reason, the rewards will be great. So jokingly, but also not jokingly, I keep saying fortune favors the brave. Just
Yeah.
like Matt Damon says. Fortune favors the brave, and I'm being super brave. When I first got that first edit, it was just a rough cut. No underscore, no nothing. Just here's a first edit
Yeah.
for me to look at. I was so scared to watch it that I was shaking because I was so scared that I was going to discover that I suck and this whole thing was a waste.
I mean, that's because then all your fears are relying on that moment. And when
Yeah.
you're trying something new and you haven't seen it for the first time, like that is a very scary moment. So I'm glad that you stuck through it and that you have had the courage and been able to do that. And I know that again with Chris has helped, because I'm sure that you've had to not run to him, but talk to him where he can talk you
Yes.
through things. And I believe your sister as well.
Mm-hmm.
And your best friends, just to have that support team around you, and even the directors and your whole team. That's
Yeah.
really incredible.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited for you. I can't wait to see the full movie whenever you get casted.
So the first Heart song I ever listened to was called If Looks Could Kill. Super bad rocker song, and so that's going to be the name of the movie I'm making, If Looks Could Kill.
Okay.
It sort of has a double meaning in the film.
I like that.
Be on the lookout for it.
Be on the
folks.
lookout. If
That's
Looks
right.
Could Kill. It's coming.
We'll
It's
share it
coming,
on the
guys.
podcast
As I
when
said-
it does drop.
Yeah, we'll share
Yay,
it
We'll make a
thank
post
you.
about it.
to our
when it drops.
viral platform.
Yo, super viral platform.
Manifesting my dream.
You can't be saying stuff like that like with the sarcasm. You have to say it genuinely.
You know what?
Mm.
We're gonna be very positive. I will say we started this podcast earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. We started with furniture we had. We started with us nitpicking each other, and it has
Mhm.
turned out. I mean, we have gained a following just in the short amount of time that is beyond what I would have expected.
Yeah, bro, man, I was at the store. I'm minding my own business. I'm walking toward the end. I'm trying to leave the store, and I hear somebody say, "Hey, kiwis are on sale." It's somebody that recognized, like, who knew who I was. He was an old friend of mine. I hadn't seen him in a while, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" I was so bummed.
Oh, I wish it would have been a stranger. I told someone like that is not my dream, but that is like the one moment I'm waiting for. Is to like be in a store and someone to be like, "Hey, are you
Shout
that
out
podcast
Zespri.
guy?"
Yeah.
I know it's a weird goal, but
No, it's whatever the dream is, start with that in mind and then reverse engineer your way backward and ask yourself if it were possible, how would you do it?
yeah, because I don't want to be known to be like I want to be known. Does that make sense? I don't want to be known to be wanting to be known.
Let's go on to the.
What is the dream for you guys?
Mine is to share safe space and be able to talk on important issues in a positive light. What about you, Caleb?
I just want to feed my family. All proceeds go to diapers and formulas right now. My little boy's at home and he's hungry.
But the diapers are for you, right?
Anyway, no, like I think if I to really think about like what I want to do with this podcast, like I want to,
Or just with your life, with anything.
I want to have a positive impact on people. I want people
Yeah.
to be encouraged. I want people
That's it.
I want people to have a better day because maybe they saw a clip of me. I want to show some I want to
Spark
inspire my
joy.
family. I want to inspire my friends and go, hey, Caleb did this. I can do something like this. I want to put people in positions to give them the opportunity to chase their dreams because I did this one.
Yeah. So here's the big twist with all of it. When you realize that everything you want to be in your life is in your life, and the person that you dream of becoming, you actually are that person. You are where you are on your timeline, but you are doing that thing. You have a podcast. You are doing this already. Then you can turn around and realize, oh, I am my dream come true. I am my dream come true. I'm living my dream now. And I just want it to continue to do this.
Yeah, I just think I need that bank account to reflect what I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying?
Then you put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
You say, this is how it will be, and that's what will come.
I will and want to buy Levi a car.
I am going to...
Buy Levi a car.
And then you reverse engineer it. All right, how could this be accomplished?
Wait, a Hot Wheels car or a real car?
With a motor.
I'll buy him a Hot Wheels car for like $5.
With a motor. With an engine with keys.
I'm going to buy
Yeah.
Caleb a car.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Whatever follows I am is going to come looking for you.
I do believe in the power of manifesting a little bit. So I think there's
just call it prayer, buddy.
importance to it. But
Let's
You
get to
can call it. You can call it anything. Even a neuroscientist, if they're here, they would tell you that what we say out loud, we think that when we're venting, I'm just gonna get all this out, and then magical fairies will carry it away, and it'll disappear forever. That's really not how energy works. It's not how our brains work. Really, we're building a bridge, and the next time we get on that subject, there's now a neurological pathway that's gonna get us to that negative place quicker. So that's why I say life is this big epic collaboration, because everything we're saying is creative. It's a collab between us and God.
yeah, that's true. I like
So
that.
what are you bringing to the co-write? What are you bringing? Are you a downer that's saying, well, I don't want it to be this? Okay, but what do you? Well, I don't want that, and I hate it when this happens. Okay, well, what song are we trying to? No, well, I hate that, and it gets me so mad. The people are like this. They show up in their life like this.
Yeah.
And it forces you to stay stuck where you are because you don't know how to get off of what you don't want and get on what you do want.
I like that. I just want to say first off, before we go into our next segment, thank you. I know that you could have spent your evening tonight with your husband and with your in-laws just hanging out, but you chose to come out to the boonies and come film.
She did ask, how far out is this house?
We just kept driving, and I was like, so it's a little bit farther then.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I'm used to long drives. I'm from LA. This is
true.
nothing, truly.
But you have been an absolute delight. I've
Thank
heard
you so much.
many things about you, especially since getting to meet Chris.
Another round of
Which
applause
is
for
one thing
Angelique.
cool about this podcast is I've got to meet some really amazing people. I got to meet his brothers, now his sister-in-law. And so I got to hear your music before I met you, which I think is really a cool way to see it too, because I was like, oh man, her voice is incredible. And I could go on and on about the artistic part of it, but
Thank you.
it's been a delight. Thank you for coming. I am super excited about this complaint free challenge. I'm super excited to see you.
Oh, yeah, we're doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, put the bracelet on and see how positive you really are.
Yes.
And it's okay. Like, if you notice that you've complained, it's not a failure at all. You've succeeded in noticing it.
Yeah.
Though you've been just walking through life like this with no awareness. It's just about creating awareness, creating more emotionally intelligent ways to connect.
And and recognizing that. I like that.
Yeah.
And also, I cannot wait for your short film, but also soon to be your feature film as the lead singer of Heart.
Oh, thank you. May it be as you have said.
Yes.
Praise
So,
be.
we do
We
this
thank you in advance.
just from the Oscar stage. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just kidding. I will say, so we're going to go into our weekly segment, which we call what, Caleb?
That's crazy.
And so, what's your thing?
It's called That's Crazy.
That's crazy.
So what you got this week, Caleb?
I just want to. Let me just hang on a second here.
I shouldn't roll my eyes.
No, I know what this is about.
The cameras
'Cause I'm-
you can't see this, but I recently did a 10K, and I just want to say thank you to my friends who encourage me, my friends who motivate me and inspire me to try things. I won't do another one ever again, but I don't think I will. I don't think I will
Didn't
pay.
you just tell me today you wanted to do a half marathon?
I think I'm gonna do a half. Like that's like the next challenge because I truly signed up just to see if I could do it. Like, what am I made of? Like, how is my diet and exercising over these past few years or whatever? And this, to me, the 10K was like, this is going to be kind of the test I'm going to give myself. Can I run a 10K flat out? So, yeah, I just want to say to Jay, Mariah, the Run It Black group, the Run It Black club that I'm in, Michaela, all of you folks that have just been really nice and just encouraging. Not so much Michaela, because she's always like, you could have ran faster. You could have ran a little harder. So
She pushes you.
she pushes me. To my wife, thank you for just always just being just an encourager. Yeah, especially my wife who lets me go out and run these things and
Run these streets.
run out in these streets. So that's just my thing. And to all of my friends, I just want to say I appreciate every friend that I have. I really do.
You should be proud of the work you put in, Caleb, because I will say for the last, has it been 2 years now?
About 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, you have made an incredible change. And to see you run a 10K, and you were even talking about it today, you were expecting, not that we're bragging, but you were expecting it to be harder than it was.
Yeah.
And just
totally.
to see, I mean, I was watching some wedding videos from just a few years ago, and to see where you are now,
Mm-hmm.
it's
I was
just
big backing it out here.
it was just incredible. And so you inspire people.
I was built like a VW Beetle. So.
Don't worry, I'm still holding that down. Mine this week is really just about our producer, who we know is amazing. We've mentioned her a couple times, but I wanted to talk about, she, for the first time this year, and we were kind of talking about this before the show, she wrote her own murder mystery.
We have an award
dinner.
for you, Julia.
So we did our first murder mystery party last year, and she decked out the whole house and she hosts it. And so after that, she's like, I think I'm going to write the next one. So she writes a whole murder mystery, gets through it, and then 2 months ago changes it to a whole new theme and writes another one. It was incredible to think, like, the whole storyline she created it was incredible. And we had a blast with friends over here getting to act it out. And I'm also saying all this so she can hopefully put some inserts of the night. But it was just really cool. And I just, she is amazing. Not only does she produce, but she is just an incredible human and able to create amazing things. And so just want to give her props for
Yay.
that. So it was literally everyone was raving about how much fun it was. And you even got applause at the end of the night. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give you a shout out. So what do you have anything for us this week?
Is it just anything that's crazy or
Yeah,
anything
it can
that's a
be-
highlight?
It's whatever you want to talk
Yeah,
about.
it's
Absolutely
rant,
anything?
praises, hot takes.
You could complain. Typically, that's what we've been doing since the show started.
What are we gonna do with the complaint challenge?
Oh,
I think it should always be a praise report.
Yeah,
Just always
It'll be
because
a
the thing
praise
about
while you're
negative
here.
tangents is that, again, with venting, it's not just like, I'm going to do this and it's going to stay stagnant here forever. No, it inspires conversation. Then the next person goes, oh yeah, that definitely sucks. One time, such and such. And then you get on it. Everyone's going to jump on your train that's heading right into Ville rather than, go somewhere else. Talk about something that's uplifting and joyful.
Oh, it's so great. So what
Given
do you
the
got?
choice. Okay, what do I got?
Sorry,
the song that I opened my movie with is called Crazy on You. Should I just sing it?
Why
yes. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Do we have a piano? Can we get a? No, I'm just playing.
not? She looked.
I think it.
You guys are
going
gonna
to
see how incredibly talented
So
she
this is how the movie opens. It's just my voice a cappella, and then I'm gonna have underscore come in with guitar and some background voices, and so I'm gonna score it for real. But this is how the whole thing opens up. I was a willow last night in a dream, bent down over a clear running stream. Sang you the song that I heard up above, and you kept me alive with your sweet flowing love, yeah. Crazy on you, let me go crazy, crazy on you. Oh.
Wow.
Turnaround chair.
I'd say I don't know if there is enough applause for that.
There's no. Yeah.
So
I wish I
is-
had a button I could turn my chair around and says I want you from like the voice auditions.
well, and
you
I
know?
was just picturing, in my mind, I don't read a lot of books, but it's like when you read a book. I was picturing, I'm like, this is how she starts the movie. So I'm like, she's standing there. Anyways, I'm so incredibly excited to watch this. So that is amazing.
Thank you.
We actually have an award for you for that performance.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching, hanging out with us. Angelique, thank you for coming out and spending the night with us to share some wise thoughts and talk about your movie that's coming up. Super excited for everything that's to come. Caleb, do you have anything else?
Nope. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're doing the 21-day challenge. We're starting that tomorrow. I'm going to complain tonight, and then we're going to start tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, guys.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Best episode yet.
Oh, great.
Incredible.